you've been a fan of my channel for some time, then you probably already know that I don't really do reviews on TV shows and movies. I typically do leave that to a good friend of mine, the Film Cubano. He has a whole channel built on reviewing TV shows and movies. So if you haven't seen his channel yet, I'll put a link in the video somewhere for you to go check out his channel. But I wanted to do one for this show, which is the recent release of That 90's Show, released this past Thursday on Netflix. And I wanted to talk about this TV show because I am actually a fan of That 70's Show. And this new spinoff or sequel, whatever you want to call it, was pretty awful. And you could kind of tell based off the trailer that they released that this show was going to be bad, but it's a lot worse than I thought it would be. Let's start with the characters. I do not even remember the names of majority of the new characters. They're not important to me. They were just very lame. Just the characteristics and the actors. It wasn't doing it for me. The only ones that I do remember is the main character, Leia, because she is named after Princess Leia, because the character of Eric Foreman is a big Star Wars fan, and he's, her father. And there was another kid, the Asian kid named Ozzy. He's the only Asian kid on the show, and he had a very unique set of characteristics, so, I remember him. And the problem with this show is, number one, just the writing. The show gave me these weird vibes of like a mix between doing the That 70's Show theme and mixing it with like a Nickelodeon show, kind of like iCarly or Victorious, one of those, and then maybe a tiny bit of that Disney type of show theme, if you know what I mean. Granted, the show is not very PG. There is a lot of certain words, like there's a part of the show where you would use like F-bombs, but it's, blocked out from the background noise, kind of like the joke that they were doing with that. And of course, the infamous catchphrase, "Dumbass!" But I think that the writing is really bad here. That's really a major part. That's terrible. The story itself is that Leia is visiting the Foremans for the summer, and that's when she meets the kids, and they all hang out and get into drugs and drinking beer and partying, and she's making these like poor decisions, but they're not really that big of a deal. And it feels very forced. This person, Leia, her characteristic does not reflect someone who would do these activities at all. And I just felt like it was very poorly done with the writing and the characters. Going into the characters from the original That 70's Show, for the most part, they have made cameos in this show, with the exception of Hyde, who was played by Danny Masterson. If you don't know why he's not going to be in the show, you just got to do the research. I'm not going to tell you why he's not in the show. The other characters, for the most part, they're going to get like one cameo throughout this season, with the exception of course, Red and Kitty Foreman, since they are the two of the main characters for this spinoff. Now, I have to say that Red and Kitty Foreman are the best parts of this show, but there is a little bit of a take from there in terms of Red, mainly. And I'll get into that in a minute. But with Red and Kitty, the two actors reprising their roles and basically going back into what their usual, characteristics. And to me, that's a good part. I probably would have taken just a sequel with the original characters, being that it's 20 years later, because they're in the 90's now, and all the new stuff they got to, experience in life. But I will say that the best part was Red and Kitty. Now, when I said some of the parts, like a give and take with Red, it's with his catchphrases of foot in the ass and dumbass. Those catchphrases are so iconic that it needs to be handled properly. Dumbasses. And I felt like with this show, it was poorly handled. Like they're just trying to throw in those catchphrases at random moments that, yes, it fits in as the response to the situation, but it doesn't have the same impact as it did back in the previous show. And I think that whoever decided on the writing or, the jokes or whatever, honestly, they're dumbasses. And I felt like those types of scenes, they really they're sacred. The Red Foreman's catchphrases are sacred, and it just wasn't done properly. Um, I don't remember the end of the previous show of the Foremans, because I know at one point in the show they were going to move to Florida as well, along with Donna's father Bob. I don't remember the decision at the end that they decided to stay, but I guess they decided to stay anyway. You will see other characters and other mentions of characters. There was a mention of the pastor in one episode, and that was kind of like a weird turn for that character. But you don't see him physically. There was a character who returned, Leo, which was the pothead who hung out with the kids. And this is one of the other weaker parts. I think Leo was played by Cheech, I think, if you know who that is, from Cheech and Chong. But he was really bad in this show. Like, it feels like they can't run with this character and the jokes anymore because it's just dated and weird. Like, he's the guy who's high all the time, and he says stupid things and does stupid things, but they really push it to a new level here, where it's like you want to make it to a new level in a positive direction, but here it goes into kind of like a negative direction. And I think maybe Leo shouldn't have made an appearance in this show, or they could have done it a bit better. I am gonna go into some spoilers here because the show is terrible anyway. I don't know why you would care about avoiding spoilers, but with the characters, yes, Eric and Donna make an appearance. Donna does appear more than Eric does, and with Laura Prepon, doing her role as Donna again. At first, I kind of felt like she didn't want to be there. Just the energy she was giving off with the character, like she just felt tired or just didn't want to be there. And I know when the show ended, they had like a whole special thing they were doing. She was emotional because that was like 8 years of their lives that they're all together, working together, doing like a whole family thing. But I guess now after all these years, she's just like done with it and doesn't want to really be there. That's just the vibe that I got from it. Yes, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis does make an appearance in one episode. There's actually a whole little backstory about that because the original show ended with Jackie and Fez getting together, and now in this one, she's back with Kelso. Of course, there is a new Kelso in the show. Kelso's son. He sucks. There was this new character who's supposed to be the new Hyde. She's terrible, honestly. Her mother in the show, I forgot her name. She's terrible. I don't see any reason why she's there. Bob makes an appearance in one episode. That was pretty cool. Bob was always one of my favorite characters, especially with his catchphrase is "Hey there, hi there, ho there." Like, Bob was always cool. So he does come back. Fez does have a couple of episodes. And if you are a fan of the 70s show, you might remember the feud he had with that other guy, Fenton. Well, Fenton does make an appearance. They do have their rivalry continuing. Fez was one of the better parts of this new show for me because Fez is Fez. He's doing Fez. That's that's great. So I think the strong parts of this show primarily is Red, Kitty, and Fez. Because I'm pretty sure Fez will start to make more appearances since he doesn't seem to be as busy as the other actors, maybe. But I think they need to do better with some of the jokes, the dialogue, the direction they're going with this. I just don't know how far this is going to go, how many seasons they'll get out of this. But I do feel that it needs to be talked about. This show is just not good at all. And it could be worse. It could be Velma, because that show is just... I'm not even going to talk about Velma, because after 2 episodes, I was like, nope. Can't. I should have felt that way after 1 episode, but with this one, I did want it to go to the whole season, through the whole season, because unlike Velma, they did release the whole thing because it's Netflix, so you get the whole thing on release day. And I just wanted to see where it would go and if the other characters will make more appearances, and they don't. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And for those who made the show and didn't stop to think that this was a bad idea, then honestly, you are a dumbass. And if you're someone who actually enjoys the show and you think that I'm wrong or that my opinion is, not a good one based on how I felt about the show as a fan of the original show, then you are also a dumbass. But that is my TV show review. If you enjoyed it, let me know. I am working on some more stuff. I do have a video planned coming up very soon, And towards the end of January, we are getting a couple of releases. Dead Space and Forspoken. Might do something on one of those. I'm not sure yet. And of course, by March, I think the new Star Wars game releases. So we got some stuff coming out. And I'm hoping to get more tech stuff for you guys. Apple is releasing a new MacBook and Mac Mini actually in a couple of days. So I should probably make a video about that and talk about it real quickly, before they release. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel so far. I am pushing to try to make it to 500 subs and beyond. But let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments what kind of content you want to see from me, so I can actually make more videos for you guys and put some more out there. But that's it for today, and I'll see you guys on the next one.